venue too far, any song at every bar, here to cover your needs. Twin Rivers Music Scene.
Hey y'all, this is the Twin Rivers Music Scene podcast with your host Madison
and Reed.
And welcome to episode 16.
Yes, we are here bright and early on a Saturday morning in Riley's Tavern after a late night at Cheatham Street. So Madison, how are you doing? You have sunglasses on inside, so.
Yeah, I could be better. It's not like I drink that much, but I think I've just been exhausted. And then obviously the drinking doesn't help. I'm dehydrated.
But you're still looking great.
Thank you so
stylish
much.
As heck.
Oh my god, thank you. Just wearing denim on denim like we always do.
Yeah.
And just trying to make it through the day. I'll be okay though. We have On the Grind coffee. It's already kind of hit. I'm a little jittery now, so that's why we have the sunglasses on.
Yeah, let's do like a little plug, maybe like future sponsorship, because we do these in the morning, these podcast interviews.
Honestly,
we should
so
just
true.
Always drink On the Grind.
Okay, I'm down.
What'd you get?
A cold brew with cold foam. So now it's like this. Let me lift up my glasses to see what color it is. And also the ice has melted, so it doesn't look that appetizing. But yeah, cold brew, cold foam.
Perfect. I got an Americano today, which I never do, but I was like, I need espresso straight to the dome.
I was a little shocked by that. I was about to get, and you texted me like perfect timing. I was just like, okay. But anyways, we're here. We're excited to have this next guest on.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, last night Reed said that we were at Cheatham Street. Mason Lively had a show there. He just dropped his new single, Texas Song, which is so good. I love it. So if you haven't heard it, stream it, share it.
Yeah. And
dance to it.
Drive around Texas to it. Yeah, so we have a reel that's going to be, by the time this episode's up on our Instagram, interviewing Mason after the show. So go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. We met him last year at Green Hall, and it was really great to reconnect with him last night at Cheatham Street. So we did that, and then we also did a whole weekend at Cattle Country, and we're honestly still getting I think rest after that. We were but that was such a great opportunity. Madison months ago just dropped our application in there. We're like, you know what? We're throwing it out in the universe. The week of the festival, we got it back, and they're like, hey, you're interviewing Ransom Brothers, Wyatt Flores, and 49 Winchester, and also here's a photo pass. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So we had a great time doing that.
Yeah, so it's all about manifesting. That's
like
the motto, manifest. But yeah, so shout it out to Cattle Country and KJ PR, Kayla's PR company. She did a great job handling everything, and we were very lucky to be there. So thank you everybody for allowing us to be there and for their support.
Yeah,
it truly means the world.
And we will say that the amount of sweat that we lost that weekend is probably would be astounding to the average person. We were, because I know we're making this short, but let's make it like a quick little story.
Okay.
Madison and I we record all of our podcasts on an interface, and that requires obviously our laptop, mics, cables, and we had to bring this battery pack generator that weighed no less than 30 pounds, and her and I are just pulling it across the festival in the sun at high noon in a field with dust everywhere. I mean, it was so fun. We had a great time at all these shows. But we were sweaty and we were gross. But you know what? That's just hard work, and that's how it had to be.
That's so true. Hard work.
Yeah.
But that's our personal problem. We do need to invest in portable podcasting equipment. We've tried tiny mics, which we use for the reels, but it will happen one day. But, for now we have to travel around with a 50-pound battery pack.
Well, yeah. And for us, because we were interviewing those artists, we really just wanted obviously the audio to be good. And so we're like, you know what? we'll carry this across the festival. We'll lose 82 pounds in sweat and have great audio. And we did. And so we had a great time talking with Isaac Gibson from 49 Winchester, Wyatt Flores, and then the Ransom Brothers who are out of Austin.
Yes.
So all of that is on our Instagram as well. And then what was the last thing we wanted to update?
We have actually really exciting news. So if you look over to my left, maybe y'all's right, but maybe everybody's left. Who knows? Reed is wearing these fabulous Twin Rivers Music Scene hats. Do you want to like maybe run up to the camera and show them and get a quick little look? Be our model. So these are white navy hat Twin Rivers. So freaking cute. Gonna be great for the summer and river season. We are going to be selling those soon. We just ordered some. So reach out to us if you want one. Limited amount.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we can always order more, but we're just going to see how this goes. And then we're also going to be having some koozies and stickers, and some of the proceeds are going to go to artists.
Yeah. So just as a way of tying back into our mission with the hats that we're selling, we're going to use a portion of all the money that we make for each hat and go back to put that in like tip jars at people's shows around town. So, I mean, the only reason we're able to do this is because the artists agree to come on and talk to us and like help share what we're doing as well. And so, yeah, we are just trying to give back in that way. And so we'll be at a lot of shows around town in New Braunfels and Green. We'll be putting money in the tip jars from money that we've made off of our hats. So
yeah, so just keep a lookout for that and where we're going to be selling them and all that jazz. So
yeah,
anything else we need to discuss before we get into it?
I think that's it. So yeah, just keep an eye out on our Instagram for a bunch of new content coming up. And we're really excited for this next artist. This is episode 16, interview number 15.
You always say that, but I don't think we always need to do the artist interview.
True. I mean, like the intro is just like, just say 16. No one's counting that seriously. That is true.
Sorry, I just had to say
I think
it.
it's more of a mental note for myself.
I know, which honestly, it's fine.
But
Proceed.
episode 16, and we have Keith Hickle coming up. Madison and I have been listening to Keith around town for the past couple years, and we're a really big fan of his. And we really think y'all are going to enjoy his conversation that he has with us. We learned a lot of new things about him that we didn't know, and he's up to some really cool things too. So
he's the best. He's the sweetest guy ever, and we were very sad that we didn't get to interview him with the rest of Brother Jukebox because he had a gig at Rodeo Austin Barbecue Cook-Off. So it was great to get him in the studio.
Yes.
So
the studio.
Yeah. So enjoy the next episode. This is Keith Hickle on the Twin Rivers Music Scene podcast.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy. This next artist is a country musician based in New Braunfels, Texas. He started playing guitar and singing at the age of 23 and began his musical journey after relocating to New Braunfels, where he showcased his talent through open mic performances. As a genuine traditional country artist, Keith has made a name for himself in the local music scene by performing at various venues throughout New Braunfels. Additionally, he is a member of Brother Jukebox, a 90s country cover band celebrated for its energetic performances. Twin Rivers Music Scene welcomes Keith Hickle to the podcast.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing good. Really
Thanks.
happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming out on a Saturday morning to Riley's.
Yeah, this is a nice way to wake up and get your day going.
I know, right? Like the stale smell of alcohol, some smoky vibes in here.
Yeah.
Way to wake us up.
Yes.
And you've got like a whole day of shows like you were just telling us. Where
Yeah.
else are you playing today?
Today I'm playing from 3 to 5 at the Smithfield Jamboree, opening for Bo Bandy. I think T.G. Shepherd is the other guy playing. And then tonight's going to be Fry Hut Country Store.
I love Fry Height.
Yeah.
You play there quite frequently, don't you?
Not as often as I want to.
Oh, okay. Fry Height, book 'em more.
Yeah. We'll see how tonight goes.
Well, thanks for coming in. So you got started in your music career in your 20s, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So what like made you take that leap in your 20s to learn guitar and start singing?
So there's like 3 different ways I tell people. So I'll just go ahead and tell you all 3. The first one is I remember being a kid and singing Tim McGraw in the truck with my dad. And Don't Take the Girl was the first one. I love that song.
I love that song.
And I remember telling my dad that I wanted to be a country singer, and he just kind of laughed. Like, I grew up in a very sports-oriented family, so it was going to be sports or education, you know. I was like, no, I'm going to be a singer. That's what I'm going to do. And so when the opportunity presented itself to learn guitar and stuff, I took it, and I just found a knack for it. I wasn't musically talented. I didn't do band. I didn't do anything. I just started singing on my friends' back porches. And when I picked up a guitar and people were like, whoa, man, hey, you're pretty good. You should really try this. I just kept going with it. And so that's the first perspective out of that. The second one is I couldn't get a girlfriend to save my life.
That is a good
Back
tool
then,
to do that, for sure.
So I would start singing at all these parties in different places. And, of course, all the girls were like, hey, you sing pretty good. You should learn guitar. And that'll make a man learn guitar real quick.
Like right away, yes, ma'am.
And so the third way is really it was both of those kind of combined. But my brother and I have always been competitive. My brother was a college athlete, and he was up in New York, and he came home for Thanksgiving, and he goes like, hey, man, I bought a guitar. I want to learn this. And just something about him saying that he wanted to learn it made me want to do better than he was going to be. And so yeah, he learned 3 songs within like a week, and I just thought, man, I gotta do better than that. And I learned like 30 songs in a month.
Oh my gosh,
That is
you
so
really should
Yeah,
have.
I really picked it up fast.
You were just like at night practicing. So did you teach yourself, like
Yes.
through like songs, YouTube videos?
YouTube University.
I feel like you can learn how to do literally anything in the world now off of YouTube.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like the trio of things that came together that had you start music.
Yeah, really, it was my brother.
Yeah. So what were you doing
So-
before? Like, you say that you obviously wanted to be a musician, but what was that, like in between of you doing?
So right after high school, I was a railroad conductor.
Okay.
I traveled with that over from Kansas to Louisiana to Laredo to Corpus to Houston, then back to Louisiana. I did that for about 4.5 years.
Okay.
I've
So-
never met a railroad conductor. I feel like that's one of those occupations that, I mean, we always hear about like growing up and stuff, but I've never met one like
Yeah.
in person.
Not
In the
active,
railroad.
not
Yes.
active anymore, but in the past, yeah.
I mean, there's a railway right here, like a railroad,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just feel like that's so cool.
Yeah, it was an experience. I got on right when I was 18 years old, and it was amazing. All the traveling and being a single guy, being young, making good money, it was wonderful. And then as I got older, I realized, like, man, I don't really have friends. I'm working a lot. I don't like this. So I got out of that and became a musician. It's like I'm still traveling, but at least I get to have friends and get to be around people.
Yeah.
So when you moved to New Braunfels, did you know New Braunfels was a music town?
On a very small scale.
Okay.
My brother was living here, and I was 22 when I moved here, and this was 15 years ago. And so he just said that there was open mics, and there was Riley's Tavern, and there was Green Hall. Green Hall was like the mecca for me, and that's all I really knew of it. I just knew of like Roger Krager was like my idol back then. Jason Bowman was. All those guys were playing in New Braunfels. River Road Ice House was the place to be. So yeah, I moved here knowing a little bit about it, and then I started playing all the open mics, traveling around, and I saw all the smaller bars and all the smaller events, and how even back then there was so much going on. I was like, wow, this is really amazing. This is really cool.
And
So-
like the community that you've built with like fellow musicians, and then also people that just follow your music in town. What does that mean to you, being able to like go to different venues around New Braunfels and Green and be like, I know that I'm gonna see one of my friends here playing, or they're gonna be here supporting me, kind of thing?
Yeah, it's still to this day, it's such a good feeling. It's so cool that I'm still building an audience. I've been doing this so long. It still feels fresh whenever you get a new person come up to you and say, man, I really like what you do, or hey, I really like that song you wrote, or something, or even an old friend that comes up like, man, you're still doing really good. You still sound amazing, or man, you're getting better. It's still cool. Keeps you going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, one thing I like about you and your music is I think it is more traditional country. Like, I do think that you put your own twist on it, which I love. But with your songwriting, what's like a song that you've written that's pretty personal to you?
I wrote a song for an ex-girlfriend
Okay.
a long time ago.
Paula, close your ears.
Yeah, sorry. She knows about it. I wrote a song. It was the most personal song I wrote. It's called "Pretty in a Lonely Kind of Way."
I love that.
Yeah, and it's talking about me meeting her and her little bit of life story that she shared with me. And the hook of it is she told a very personal, sad story about her life. But the whole time she was telling me, I was like, man, she's just so pretty in such a lonely kind of way.
That's
Oh my
really
God,
cool.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever heard you play it.
Yeah, you haven't.
Well,
I've only sang it about 2 or 3 different times.
Okay.
It's a really slow song, so Brother
Okay.
Jukebox probably won't approve.
Okay.
Next time you have an acoustic set, though, we need to come and hear
Yeah,
it for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't remember if we were on or off camera for this conversation, but we were talking about open mics, like when you're getting started. When you were starting open mics, were you doing a lot of original songs, or were you starting off with covers, doing a blend?
A blend.
Okay.
I only written like maybe 2 or 3 songs when I first started, and they weren't very good. I mean, everybody's kind of naturally that way. So covers, and I was a big Wade Bowen fan. I wanted to sing like Wade Bowen. I mimicked everything he did. I realized very quick my voice is a lot deeper, and then I was straining, and it was bad. I wouldn't last 45 minutes in an open mic. When I started open mics, it was amazing for me to meet people that are just songwriters. Completely different world for me. Just getting to know people and spending time with like Zach Walther. That was one of the first guys I met outside of the gig, just in his personal life. A guy named Wes Nixon, Austin Gillum was one of the first guys. Like what they do in their day to day to be a songwriter was so intriguing to me. It was so cool to just witness that. So it made me want to do it. And I didn't write a song for like 6 years after that because I was so caught up in the music. I was trying to be a songwriter and going out to these songwriter things, but I wasn't writing a whole lot of songs. I was just playing the same songs over and over, and then I got in like 4 different bands because people liked the way I sang. So I got away from the artist aspect for a while. But when I got back with those guys and really started spending time with them again and getting back in that day-to-day thinking and stuff, it became a lot more easy.
So how did you, because you were kind of talking about Wade Bowen, and it sounds like you were kind of maybe trying to find your sound. What was that process like as like an artist, trying to figure out what avenue you want to go down and, what you're good at, what you like, kind of, and then forming like Keith Hickle, on stage?
It's still been a process.
Okay.
And I can be honest about that.
Yeah.
For me, it's knowing your voice, like knowing yourself, knowing your voice. For me, it's always been my voice. I've been able to sing like other people. Like I could do a hell of a Johnny Cash impression, but that's not what I wanted to do. And then on the days where I'm really feeling like the music, I could sing like Wade Bowen or Stoney, or I'm not as good as Damon Curtis
Please.
We can't keep hyping him up on here
or JJ
too much.
Villarreal. But it really, like, I had to listen to my voice and where is it leading me, and that's been a process. But honestly, I can honestly say, and I've told JJ and Damon this, since I've been playing with Brother Jukebox, I really feel like I found myself in music, and it's the strangest thing. I played with thousands of different musicians. Something about those 2 guys. It's the energy. It's the way Damon sings. It's the way JJ delivers his songs. It's the harmony. It's all the things that they bring that, for me, it resonates somewhere in me. So it's made me sing better. They've said it. I've had other musicians come up and say how I've been singing so much better. I'm so much more comfortable on stage. So props to Brother Jukebox.
I love that.
That's really cool that you found that in them, because whenever you attend a Brother Jukebox show, like you can really sense that from the crowd. Like y'all all feed off of each other so organically, and it's like y'all are all able to do your own individual thing, but it blends together so well. And so we had interviewed JJ and Damon at Rodeo Austin because you had to leave for another gig after
Yeah.
y'all set. We're like, dang it,
We missed you.
Yeah.
I know.
But they were saying the same thing, that y'all can all just like kind of hop from song to song, kind of give each other a look and be like, okay, you hit this note, like you carry this. And I think that's so, you can't force that. And
No.
it's so special that y'all found that together.
When we opened for Shenandoah at the I forget the name of the
Lone
place.
Star premiere.
Yes, at Cibolo.
Yeah.
There was Black Hawk song that we sang, Goodbye Says It All. We hadn't practiced that. We had played it maybe twice before in the 6 months that we played. So when I started singing, I thought it was just going to be me playing it, or singing it. And then, of course, Damon's singing the harmony, but when JJ jumped in and started singing his part, I was like, whoa. I remember that feeling of, I'm opening for Shenandoah, playing 90s country that I've been playing forever. And these guys are just making it sound so much better. And I'm finding myself with these guys. It's just, it all blended together. In that moment, I was like, whoa, this is cool. This is a cool feeling. And then somebody recorded it and then sent it to me, and it sounded amazing. And I was like, guys, I think we really got something here.
Y'all definitely do.
This
And
is
that
cool.
was a great show.
Yeah.
And that was really cool just for
Because
us
you
to
were
take
there
pictures.
taking
yeah, it was
pictures.
cool. It was a cool
Yeah.
experience, like watching y'all at Shenandoah and
Yeah.
stuff. But when we also talked to Brother Jukebox, we kind of wanted to talk about how the band formed. And I know they said that you were like a later addition.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of get into the band?
Just that later edition.
Yeah.
They've been playing for I don't know how long, and I'd already been playing with as a fill-in all for the acoustic shows, and then Damon and JJ. It was after a Poorhouse show, and they just said, "Hey, we have this thing called Brother Jukebox. Do you want to come fill in for that?" That was the first thing they told me. I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Absolutely." Played the first full band show, and it was such a good time. It was so cool, and there was no pressure. There was no like demand of anything. It was so laid back, and I was like, I like this. This is fun. But then it took a lot of the pressure of me being a front man and at my own band and different bands. I was able to step back and look at them and go, wow, they're all pretty talented dudes in their own aspects. I like this. This is a cool fit. And then the crowd was into it too. I was like, all right.
You were the
I
missing
can-
puzzle piece that
I
they
like
needed.
it. They want me to sing all the Keith Whitley songs,
Hey,
but I mean, Damon
love 'em.
wants to sing them too. But Damon wants to sing everything. But
Yeah, I was gonna say when you made me laugh when you were like talking about the Black Hawk song. That's what it was, right? Black Hawk.
Yeah.
How you said like Damon. You can always count on Damon to come in and harmonize every song.
I was actually watching that video. I was looking at I was shamelessly stalking your Instagram last night, and I watched that video. That's like the one that I clicked on, and I love the caption. It was like, when someone from the crowd demands Black Hawk, you just go with it
Yeah.
and do it. And it did sound so
Yeah.
good. How was it like when you found out that you were opening for Shenandoah? Because that is an amazing opportunity.
that was an amazing feeling. When Damon asked if we wanted to join him and do it as Brother Jukebox, I was like, I will cancel whatever I have. And
Cancel.
I didn't have anything.
Cancel a wedding,
Yeah.
cancel anything.
Whatever's going on in my,
Yeah.
in my
Like, I will
world at
be
the
there.
moment, I will be there.
Uh-huh.
And so it was just cool. I mean, I grew up really in the 90s, I was in hearing all that and being like dancing to it and having all the memories of 90s country being like the present thing back then, to like singing Shenandoah for so long and having that connection. And Marty Rabin's like one of my absolute favorite singers. He's a big Christian man. I think he's a preacher as well on the side.
I didn't know that.
I think he is. I could be
love
wrong.
that.
Don't. You can fact check me on that.
Yeah.
But he's a guy I really connected with, musically and spiritually, and just being iconic. And then Damon saying, "Hey, let's go do this," and I was like, "Oh my God, yeah, absolutely." Then I got to meet Marty, and it was like, "Whoa, wow, holy cow, this is really happening! Wow, you're really short."
He is. He's so tiny.
He's a little guy, but man, he's still, was he 65 years old? Something. He still sounds amazing.
I don't know. That's one
Um,
thing that I always think is cool about 90s, 80s country singers. Like, for instance, like Willie Nelson, and even we saw Clay Walker. and Alan Jackson, and their voice, it's like you can tell that they're getting old, and it breaks my heart. But what's so cool about music is their voices don't change.
I agree.
And they always talk about like how it's so hard to retire in music. Why would you? And your voice still sounds so good. And I think that's such a cool thing that you like always just have your voice. I don't know. I just think it's a cool thing. So jealous.
Lifelong career.
Yeah.
So what is one thing, actually a couple things, that you miss from the 90s that you wish were still like prevalent in the world today?
Not a whole lot, because 90s has really come back.
That's
true.
It
It really
is coming
has. The fashion,
Yeah.
you know, like men's
literally denim
fashion,
on
y'all are
denim right
denim, you know, the hats, the boots, the I think the flare jeans were kind of a thing, kind of still, the acid wash, even just tight jeans. It's just the whole country vibe.
Was that your vibe in the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I wanted to be Tim McGraw, because that was the only guy. I mean, George Strait. Everybody wanted to be George Strait.
Of course.
You
I
know,
want to be George
Not
Strait.
everybody wanted to be Tim McGraw.
Yeah, you're like, I'll be different. I'll be Tim
Yeah.
McGraw.
When he sang Indian Outlaw.
That's one of my favorite songs. I love that song.
I love that song. And of course, Don't Take the Girl, and then I can't remember the other one. Living on Refried Dreams.
I haven't heard
that's a good one.
Stuff
You
like
have.
that.
You probably
I
have.
did not know that was the name of
Refried
it.
Dreams.
Oh my gosh, I did
No?
not know that was like the name of it. I don't think I
yeah.
have.
She's like singing different lyrics.
I was saying refried beans the whole time. That's why.
Yeah. So that was. There's other than that. There's I miss being a kid in the 90s.
Yeah.
but everybody misses being a kid.
Amen to that. It's so hard out here.
Yeah.
Maybe a little, like the time of a little less technology when we all like play
Absolutely.
outside and like all
Social
those
media.
kind of things. But yeah, I love that the
Social media.
90s fashion is coming back, because definitely a fan of it for sure.
Yeah.
So what's one of your favorite songs, or maybe not favorite, but the most song you get requested on stage?
Lately, or kind of in the last year?
Either or.
Let's do in the last year.
Ooh. The last year I've been getting a lot of, because I sing in Spanish.
Oh yes, I love when you
So,
do that.
I don't
William
know what I'm
Beckman, watch
singing,
out.
by the way. Thank you, Duolingo. I still don't know what I'm saying to you, but I'm just singing it. Thank you, William Beckman, for bringing it back around, by the way. So I get a lot of Volver. They want that, or El Rey, or anything Freddie Fender. So I get a lot of that. A lot of people want Keith Whitley, of course, because everybody loves him, and I love him too.
Of course.
So I get Miami. I think would probably be one I get pretty often. In the last 6 months, though, I've been getting even older requests. Gene Watson.
Okay.
I've been getting some Farewell Party. I don't have a steel guitar player. If there's anybody out there that wants to do that with me. So I've been getting older requests, which is I love, because I grew up singing in the old country operas around Texas. So I did a lot of traveling with that, and so all that good classic country beyond George Jones, like Gene Watson or oh my gosh, Hank Snow stuff, or Hank Sr. We can go on and on about all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, old classic country lately.
Can you explain a little bit more about how you got into singing Spanish? Were you fluent in the language before, or did you teach yourself how to?
No.
Okay. So you taught yourself so that you could sing songs in
Yes.
Spanish? That's amazing.
So
amazing.
a little bit of the background is my dad is Hispanic. My dad was an Air Force brat, but he's Hispanic. We're also American Indian. We're part of the Cherokee Nation.
Indian outlaw.
Card-carrying members, So my dad spoke Spanish fluently. Never really spoke it around us. I took Spanish class in high school, failed it, or barely passed it. Let me rephrase that. Never knew what I was saying. I just always loved the music. I think music spoke to me more than any other subject in school or in college or anything. It was always, if it's related to music or if there's a musical aspect to it, I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to soak it in. So really I was singing a couple Spanish songs growing up. Didn't know what I was singing. I just liked the way they would pronunciate certain things. And when William Beckman brought out all his stuff, I was like, all right, now's my chance. I could really start doing this too. And then it just really took off. It was, yeah. I mean, I still, again, don't know anything that I'm saying to him. I have played that song, Wolver. I still don't know what it's about. I'm sure, again, I could very easily Google this.
Yes.
And I probably should. But I sang it at a wedding. And I'm pretty sure it's about somebody from the past returning to your life. And so I was like, hey, I know it's a Hunnell song. Started singing it, and the groom was like, yes. And then the wife was kind of in the corner like, I don't know about this.
So you're getting mixed vibes.
Yeah,
You're like,
mixed
we don't know if
vibes.
this is good or bad.
It's a little weird that the groom was like, you know, shaking his fists and everything.
That's like seems like a more of their own personal story than like the setting. You know, there was something deeper there.
I changed it up and I sang a really pretty Tejano song after that. Like, and so it was cool.
Do you think you'd get to the point where you would try to write a song in Spanish?
I would love that. My wife and I went to Cancun a couple months back in February, and we were taking Duolingo courses.
Oh, that's fun.
Just for fun. But I remember when I was taking it, I was like, man, it'd be really neat to really try to write a song in Spanish and just give it a shot. And so maybe one day, maybe hopefully soon.
Yeah, that'd be a good goal.
That'd be a good excuse for y'all to like do a trip down to Mexico and just make a vacation out of it and be like, this is a writing session.
It's
but
research.
Yes.
Have it ready for Cinco de Mayo next year.
True.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Honestly, let's put it out there.
All right.
Next Cinco de Mayo, we will have a Keith Hickle
Single release.
Keith Whitley too.
Oh, Lord.
Spanish song. Okay, so are you more of like a happy country songs or sad country songs? Because I know you play a lot of Keith Whitley, which those are mostly sad.
That is sad. No, I like upbeat. I say upbeat. I say happy vibes.
Okay.
Doesn't have to really be upbeat, because there's some very like middle of the road songs that are still happy. But yeah, I like, you know, like Here for a Good Time by George Strait's probably one of my favorite. Dancing, just that kind of vibe. So yeah.
So do you think do you think that's what kind of like makes a good country song, is like the beat?
No. Oh, the beat, yes.
What do you think makes a good country song?
That's a good question. I forget who said it, who quoted it, but if it sounds country, then it is. That's a pretty famous quote by somebody. I've heard it before.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it's all about the delivery as a whole. It could be the beat, it could be the singer, it could be anybody else in that. It's as long as the delivery is there, and you'll know it's a country song. Yeah. So, because I've heard guys that were like rock and roll sing country, and as long as the band was on point, because the singer's not going to deliver that song at best as a country singer, but if the band delivered it, it still came across really well.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
I had that happen in Richmond, Texas. A guy opened for me, and he was a rock and roll singer, and they played Merle Haggard songs because they had to have some country in the list. And they did Silver Wings. I remember you saying you love that song. They did Silver Wings, and they did Stay Here and Drink, and they did it back to back. And the band was on point. The singer wasn't quite there, but to me, I was like, "Hey, man, this is good. This sounds good."
You're like, we accept this
I
as being
accept
country.
It. This
Yes.
is nice. You know, I can get into this.
Yeah.
Which I think that's so like prevalent right now though, because there's a lot of artists in different genres that are releasing like either country singles or albums and stuff. And it's interesting to watch like kind of what the country scene accepts. Like, oh, we like love this song, we'll start playing this to our people, or other people that are like, that's like imitating what we're doing kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I've just been watching that with new song releases, and I think like you said, it's just the delivery, it's like the authenticity of it.
Sure.
And I think that really goes a long way.
Yeah, because I like what you said, because with Southern rock is kind of a thing right now, and I always wonder like what is that category? Like, I guess yes, it is Southern rock, but it's a little bit Americana, but it is country.
Yeah.
Like, people consider it as country. So I like the answer. That's like the delivery. If it sounds country and we're going with it, we're just gonna go with it.
Absolutely.
It's country.
Absolutely. Like, you could say Whiskey Myers is country, but
exactly.
but there's Southern rock. You know, to me, there's Southern rock. It's all depends. It's up to the listeners' discretion on what they hear. You know.
Yeah.
Right, but I feel like it falls under the country tier, and there's
Yeah.
all these like little
Yeah,
branches
little
off.
subgenres and different things. So yeah, absolutely.
So other than a hopefully upcoming Spanish song that you're writing, what is next for you musically? Are you recording anything? Are you playing any big shows?
So a few eggs in the basket. I'm originally from LaGrange, Texas, so back over there, it's all about the dance hall two-step, kind of style of country, which I love. I still love it.
Do you polka dance? Isn't that
Oh,
big
yeah.
over there?
Polka dance and waltzing, all that German Czech area. There was a guy named Todd Fritsch that was a fairly big name back in the late 90s, probably early 2000s. He put a song out called Texas Talkin', and it's coming up, I think it's almost 20 years old or 21 years old. Anyways, hopefully, and this might be a good reminder to him, hopefully going to recut it and hopefully get him to sing it with me.
Awesome.
Just to make a little small comeback and put it out again. It's a
That's awesome.
awesome little tune. But I've been writing slowly. I've been an entertainer for so long and traveling and playing the Houston Rodeo, playing private parties all over Texas. Been very busy on that aspect. But I'm trying to make time for the artistic side. And so got some ideas flowing. It's cool to be in a place like this because there's a couple songs that are about, the typical neon light thing, but it's just a different way of looking at it. So I walked in and I was like, oh, I can be in here for a little bit. And
Yeah.
Inspired.
Get some
Yes.
inspiration.
When you do write a song, is that helpful, like writing different places
Yes.
and kind of like getting inspiration from elsewhere? Like, do you like have an idea in your head and you kind of like, I don't know, go somewhere to kind of see what you can pull out of it? What's the process?
Not as often as I want to.
Okay.
Because a lot of it is I'm on the road or I'm at home.
Right.
So when I get to bars, lately I've been really trying to make time to get there an extra hour early just so I can have time to set up and ease my way into it, but also find inspiration.
Okay.
I'm a big people watcher.
Same.
So I love watching people and trying to pick up on their vibe and what's going on, maybe make a little story out of it if I can. It might be a completely wrong story about their life, but in my head it makes sense.
So if you attend a Keith Hickle show, you might have a song written with you in it or something because you're people watching. Yeah.
I don't say names.
Something you do might inspire a lyric.
But you might hear a specific location, maybe on a certain date, and what this person wore. If that all puts pieces together, then you're in
you.
it.
Yeah, you got your feature.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have like all these crazy people like doing crazy things at your show just so they can get like a song.
Hey, whatever
written
gets them out,
about
man.
them.
Yeah.
All right, so I got something crazy I want to tell y'all.
Oh, I cannot
let's
wait.
hear it.
Yeah, so I've been waiting to say this. So I've always told people that music has made my world extremely huge and extremely small at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had the whole 6 degrees of separation thing happen in my life, even before music. I tend to go places and I know somebody. It's just, it happens. Not all the time, but regularly. I have 3 different stories I want to tell you, and they're kind of short, but this morning I woke up and I was like, man, I got 3 stories I want to tell these girls, and I had to sit back and like dig into it and think about it. So, anyways,
We're excited
the first
to hear
one
it.
was I remember it was 2011, and I had a residency in San Marcos. It's the Basement Bar. I don't know what it's called now. It used to be called Jay's or Taxis. I had a residency every Tuesday, and my band and I were playing, and these guys came in, had a great time with us. We partied all night. We ended at, 1 a.m., went out to the bars after, had a good time. We were shutting it down. And there's one guy that I ended up kind of connecting with and talking with and just getting to know. Ended up being my second cousin on my mom's side of the family.
Wait.
No kidding.
That's
The whole
wild.
time. I mean, he was like, he loved it. He was like, man, you're awesome. I was like, dude, you're awesome. Drinks are flowing, And so it was right when we were leaving. I was like, hey, man, my family's from South Texas. My mom's from South Texas. And he's like, oh, my family's from South Texas. I was like, oh, yeah, cool, man. My mom's from the Corpus area. He's like, my mom's from the Corpus area. And it kept getting smaller and smaller. And I was like, wait, what's your mom's name? And he told me, and I was like, that sounds familiar. Called my mom, 2:45 in the morning. I guess I was 23 years old at the time. You know,
She's
called
like,
her.
"What's the emergency?"
Yes. She's like, "Are you in jail?" Like, no,
Like, here
not
we
this
go.
time, Mom. You know? And she answered. I was like, "Hey, do you know?" I'm sorry, I forgot her name now, but I just remember calling her, and she's like, "Yeah, that's my cousin."
Oh my gosh.
I was like, "Oh, I'm here with so and so," and yeah, so
Small
that
world.
happened, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." The second one was, oh my gosh, I just forgot it. I'll just go ahead and get to the third one.
Okay, maybe we'll come back.
Okay, so the third one happened recently. I posted a reel on Instagram of me singing "Wondering Why" by Red Clay Strays.
Love.
A guy found it randomly and said, "Hey, I love that song. I want to hire you for my wedding.
Wow.
It's for the first dance." I said, "Absolutely." So books it. Him and his fiance, now wife, add me on Instagram. Get closer to the wedding, and I find out that they're from Corpus, and they're best friends with one of my good friends here in New Braunfels.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy. It's funny." Then at the wedding, get to talking to the bride, and the bride knows my first cousin on my mom's side extremely well, and her husband. Whoa, that's even crazier. So I get to the groom's side, and I have this couple from Laredo. My dad's from Laredo. Come up, and the guy goes, "Hey man, you're really good. Really enjoyed it. You want to come to Laredo and sing? I know some people we can help you." I was like, "Oh man, that'd be amazing." My dad's from Laredo. I have my second cousin, or my dad's cousin, is the judge, the county judge there. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know Tano really well. We hung out with him last week."
Oh my gosh.
I was like, "Whoa, this is what's going on." Then the guy's wife comes up to me and says, "I know you. You're Keith." I was like, "Yes, I'm the singer." She goes, "No, your dad is Kenny. Your mom is Stephanie. Your brother and sister, and I know your aunt. I grew up with your aunt. Your aunt and I went to school together. We did dance class together, and all this, and started naming off my whole family." And I was like, "I need to go buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
now.
literally right now.
This is crazy." And so all that from posting the real Instagram. So moral of that story is post your content.
And
There
me
we
You
go.
don't know where it's going to lead you or who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That's a great story. And I think that's also like, not to be like philosophical or whatever, but I think that's like the universe telling you, like, you're doing what you're supposed to do. It's presenting the people that like need to be in your life or that you're connected to in some way through your music. And
agree.
I think that's super special.
And that's the biggest thing about my music career is I've been a railroad conductor. I try to be a firefighter, paramedic. I've tried to be 1,000 different things in my life. Music is kept like pushing its way into my life. And then in 2018, I was able to take it on full time. I've been able to do it full time since. And it's where I'm supposed to be. If it's for a short time, it is what it is. But I've met people and I've been in circumstances that right there has shown itself to me. Like you're where you need to be, and just keep going here. So
That must be like an amazing feeling
I
too,
was
because
just
I feel
gonna
like
say.
people look for that feeling a lot in their jobs or just in different parts of their life.
sure.
And for you to be in that moment right now and then also be able to acknowledge it like while it's happening, not like in retrospect in a couple of years, be like, oh yeah, that was a great thing for me. But like right now you're seeing it work how it's supposed to. And so
Yeah.
organically with like the people that are coming into your life through music. So I think that's very rare and very special to have.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, with any job, but especially, I mean, obviously, we've talked to musicians. It's hard out there. So I think when you have little, like, positive validations
Yeah.
that you're kind of like, okay, like, I'm good. You
Yeah.
know, like, I'm where I'm supposed to be. And that's such
Absolutely.
a good feeling, to, especially
And I
keep
try
going.
to spread that to other musicians too. Like I get that it's tough at times, and music is. It could be demanding. It could be people will be very critical of you. All the kind of negative, slightly negative to really negative parts of the music scene. I'm like, no, remember, it's a beautiful thing that we have this talent. We get to go share it. We get to. You are the entertainment for people. You have this talent that you're sharing. Pay attention to the positive vibes, or like soak in the vibes, even if it's not even completely positive. There's something good happening.
Right.
Good, there's something good, and it might be coming from you, or you have to create that. But just always remember that,
Very well
That's true.
said.
I like that. Okay, so I'm a really big manifester.
And it's
so
been working lately too.
It has, good and bad. Sometimes I say things and then I shouldn't have said it because I'm like, dang it. But then there's really positive things I say that happen. So
like
my
goals
mom,
that we've been setting lately.
yeah, and my mom always just tells me to put it out there, put it out there. So where's like one thing that we want to manifest for you, whether it's like playing a venue or maybe opening for someone, like
Okay.
let's
Speak it into existence.
Speak it, yeah, exactly. So
All
we
right.
can manifest for you.
I want to play at Green Hall, the main stage,
Okay.
with my band.
Awesome.
Keith Hickle is gonna play at Green Hall next year, main stage.
Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna
This
make it
time next
happen.
year.
Whenever. I want to bring the classic country / Tejano sound
Yeah.
to the main stage.
All right, we're gonna put it out there. And that's the best
So
part about
look out.
manifesting is you never know when,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So let's manifest it.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
All three of us.
Yes.
And then kind of
with our powers combined.
True. It's definitely going to happen then. So since we're like New Braunfels green based and everything, and we're going to ask you a couple this or that just for the New Braunfels area, see what you think. Okay. So are you team Comal River or team Guadalupe River?
I would say Comal,
Okay. Why?
because that's the only one my wife and I ever go to.
Fair.
We'll give you some
I
spots
don't
on the
float.
quad.
I don't float near as much as I would love to, but yeah.
We'll tell you some spots in the quad that you can like set a chair in and stuff that we like to do. Are you a Callahan's pizza or a bootlegger's pizza person?
Ooh, man, I'm gonna have to think on this one. I'm gonna have to say Callahan's because that was like the fourth date I ever took my wife on.
Cute.
So, or,
Sentimental
I'm sorry,
value.
it's like the fourth date she ever took me on. Let me rephrase that. So good memories with it. So the
Shall share a pizza roll or
pizza
something?
rolls
Yeah.
and a Caesar salad.
Nice.
You know,
Can't
yeah.
go wrong.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Are you a downtown New Braunfels or Green fan more? I know they're both great, but
Personally, I'm a Green fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. That's my vibe. But downtown has a lot of really cool things.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever vibe I'm feeling that day, really.
And
So,
then-
but overall, Green.
Green, okay. And then lastly, are you a Wurstfest or Wasselfest person?
Worst fest.
That was kind of an
Absolutely
No
easy one.
hesitation.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
worst. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Keith,
Yeah.
for talking with us. This has been
Absolutely.
a pleasure.
Thank you for coming in on a Saturday morning. We know you have 2 big shows tonight. So
Yes, good luck.
yeah.
And then plug yourself. Where can people follow you and go see you play and all that kind of
All
stuff?
right. You can find me at Keith Hickle Music at all social media platforms. Website's down right now. We'll be up soon. And you can find me on TikTok as well. It's a lot of videos of my wife and our dogs, but it's still pretty fun. Yeah, but any social media, you can find upcoming shows, and got some really cool things coming up. Opening for Stony LaRue coming up
Amazing.
down the coast of Texas here soon. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Well, everyone go follow Keith so that you don't miss out on any of his local shows.
Yes.
And yeah, thanks again and have a great night with your 2 shows coming up.
Thank
Yep.
you.
This has
Yeah.
been the Twin Rivers Music Scene podcast with Madison and Reed and our guest, Keith Hickle.
No venue too far, any song at every bar. Here to cover your needs. Twin Rivers Music Scene.